Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Bug Jar. I wanted to take you all through a morning warm-up routine. So I had a couple people who wanted to know what warm-ups they could do in the morning to get ready to go about their day. You want to warm up for the way you're going to be using your voice. So if you're going to be singing pretty high, you want to make sure that you really focus on warming up your middle and high registers. If you're going to be singing lower, you want to make sure you really focus on that as well. So there are some more specific things you can do, and also there's always technique, which is tackling specific areas of the voice and specific aspects of using the voice and of singing. So I'm not going to cover any of that today. I'm just going to go through the basics of breathing and stretching and all that stuff. So one of the things I like to start with is just loosening up the muscles around my head and neck. So I tend to carry a lot of tension in my shoulders and in my neck, like a lot of folks do. So I wanted to go through a couple different exercises that you can do for that are just really basic stretches. So one of them is, you've probably seen the shoulder roll. If you were ever in choir, you've probably done this. This isn't one of my favorites, but it's a common one, and I know a lot of people who really like it. So this just kind of stretches out the shoulder muscles, gets it a little bit warm there. So another one that kind of piggybacks on that is the shoulder drop, and that's where you squeeze your shoulders up and then let them drop, and then you do it again. And that kind of just makes these muscles release, and that drop kind of pulls the shoulder muscles out a little bit and kind of gives you a little bit of a stretch. So another one that I like to do for the neck is to look up at the ceiling and then look down at the floor. And it seems really silly, but this just kind of stretches both the muscles in the front of the neck and the muscles in the back. And then I like to do one where you tilt your head to one side and then slowly bring your chin in toward your shoulder and hold that there and just take a couple breaths. And then you're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. So one thing that I do that's doesn't directly relate to singing, but helps me, especially if I'm going into the studio and I'm going to be singing for a long time, is actually making sure that I stretch my hips and my lower back, which sounds really weird, but when I sing and I'm standing, like, I clench my butt cheeks and I tend to hold a lot of tension down there too. So one of the things about warming up and stretching your body before you sing is knowing where you hold tension. And you may discover as you do lots of stretches and do lots of warming up where you uniquely hold that tension. So I'm not going to like bend my back like this, see my back rounding out. I'm not going to do that. So you want to keep your back straight, and you're just going to like hinge over at the hips. You still can't see my hips. You know those hips don't lie. And keep your back straight and bend at the hip. And that's going to stretch your butt and your hamstrings. This is super embarrassing. This is what I do for you. I'm embarrassing myself on camera so that you can sing more healthily. So you keep your back straight and just stretch, and then you just bring it back up really gently. Breathing is kind of central to what you do. So once you've stretched and kind of aligned yourself and got all that tension, extra tension out of your muscles, you want to really start focusing on and activating your breath. So that can be just as simple as taking a deep breath in and sighing out. And that's kind of like the shoulder drop, in that you're just dropping the air out. You're not like focusing on controlling it as it goes out. And I like to keep my shoulders relaxed as I'm doing all this, so you'll see me wiggle around as I warm up some. So the next thing I like to do is activate your vocal folds and all that stuff. So we're going to do a deep breath in, and this time I'm going to buzz out. So I'm just going to go zzz, and you can do that kind of for as long as you can. But you might notice that your airflow is inconsistent, so it might sound like zzz. So pay attention to what's going on in your body as you're doing that. Are you like clenching in your abs? Do you have a lot of tension around your rib cage? Buzzing is really good for kind of bringing those things to your attention. So I'm going to do that, and this time I'm going to do some kind of swoops and some glides and things just to start moving around from zzz. What I'm going to do is the piece de resistance that looks the most ridiculous, which is lip trills. I love lip trills because they force you to use a lot of air and really draws you into what you're doing with your breath. Where you keep your lips relaxed and your cheeks shouldn't be puffing out, shouldn't be like your cheeks should be pretty tight to your teeth, but you're just doing that like you're doing like an engine, like a car sound. And it's hard to do if you're laughing, by the way. So I might do this one as kind of a siren where I go really low and really high. I'm just sort of crash coursing all of this, and I would generally do each one of these a little bit longer, but I want to keep the video short. I'm going to do a standard siren, which you've probably heard singers do before, of E's my favorite vowel to sing on, but you want to make sure that you're singing on lots of vowels so that you're warming your vocal folds up for making those kinds of sounds, because there's differences, subtle differences in how you have to adjust to produce those sounds. So I'm going to do a couple more of those, and I'm going to do this one a little bit more slowly. So I like to do this one to stretch over where my voice breaks and get that spot warmed up so that I'm not sounding like I'm stressing when I'm singing. Alright, so now I'm sitting at my keyboard. Octave Slides are sort of the transition to actually making sound with a goal in mind. And back down. I'm a little raspy and a little shuddery in my upper register, so I'm going to keep doing that one until it starts to feel good and comfortable. Maybe I'll change the vowel up. Maybe I'll go I'm going to take it down. From there, what I like to do is start putting more pitch goals behind it. So I might do something like and you might notice that I'm checking in with my posture and where my neck is hanging out. I have a really bad habit of letting my neck drift forward like this when I'm singing. It's like an exaggeration, but it happens. And like even just doing that motion right now, I can feel like tension right here at the base of my skull. So doing this on camera is making me super self-conscious and also very aware of where my posture is at. So you might want to do this stuff on camera too. Just take a video of yourself warming up, take some video of yourself singing, and you'll see maybe some areas that you might want to adjust as you're singing. The one thing I'll caution you against in terms of warming up is don't fall into the same exercises every day. So it's like going to the gym. If you work out, you don't go and do the same thing every single day. And so I don't want you to think that you have to do the exact same warm-ups every day. These are just some of my favorites that I tend to like to do that get me speaking and singing where I want to be speaking and singing. So there's my little word of caution there. Make sure you're working out your full voice. So then after I've done some pentascales to sort of start giving my voice some goals to work towards, then I would start moving into technique stuff, which we can talk about in other videos. That's kind of like a real basic and simple way to get your voice started on getting ready to do some work for the day. So I hope that was helpful. Share your favorite warm-ups in the comments below and link to your favorite voice blog or vlog. I'd love to check out what you're looking at and what you're listening to. So thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. And now, as a bonus, Zach is going to show you his warm-up routine. Zach, are you ready to do your vocal?
Yeah.